What's going on, everyone? Today we're going through something a little different. 20 Klein tools that for one reason or another ended up being more disappointment than discovery. And before anyone jumps in the comments, this isn't a hit piece on Klein. They make some of the best hand tools in the industry, full stop. But even a great manufacturer can produce tools that just don't land for every tradesperson. Sometimes the concept is too narrow, sometimes the execution has a flaw you only discover after you've already opened the box. Let's go through all 20, break down what each one does, and explain exactly where things go sideways. This thing looks impressive on spec sheets. It handles 10 to 18 AWG solid wire and 12 to 20 AWG stranded wire. It's built from heat-treated forged steel, reportedly 4 times stronger than conventional strippers, 6 precision-ground stripping holes, side-cut geometry with longer induction-hardened blades, a knurled jaw for twisting and looping, and Klein curve comfort grips rounding it out. So, what's the issue? The built-in crimper only works with non-insulated terminals. If insulated connectors are what you're dealing with day in and day out, that entire feature might as well not exist. And here's the other problem. It maxes out at 10 AWG solid. The moment you're working with 6 or 8 gauge wire, you're reaching for a second tool anyway. It tries to be everything, but doesn't quite get there for everyone, and you might end up wishing you just bought separate, dedicated tools from the start. Which honestly sounds like a brilliant idea until you use it regularly. It's a 6-in-1 tool packing 4 screwdriver options, number 1 and 2 Phillips, along with 3/16 and 1/4 inch flathead, plus 1/4 and 5/16 inch nut drivers. The shaft is interchangeable, and you get Klein's cushion grip. The issue isn't craftsmanship, it's physics. A stubby driver is short by design, which directly kills your leverage. Run into a screw that's been over-tightened or has a bit of corrosion holding it in place, and this tool will let you down hard. On top of that, those tiny interchangeable bits have a real talent for escaping your fingers and vanishing into whatever dark electrical box you're working in. It's genuinely useful in a pinch, but for anything that fights back, the torque just isn't there. Number 3. Klein Tools Cutting Pliers. Number 3 is the Klein 9-inch high-leverage diagonal cutting pliers from the 2000 series, and these are serious tools, made in the USA from custom-forged tool steel with induction-hardened blades. The high-leverage design repositions the rivet closer to the cutting edge, delivering about 67% more cutting force than a standard pair. They'll slice through ACSR, hardened wire, nails, and screws without breaking a sweat, and the angled head helps in tighter spots. Here's the thing though, if your day is mostly trimming copper wire or clipping zip ties, all that extra steel becomes dead weight. These pliers are noticeably heavier and bulkier than a standard diagonal cutter. When the tool is bigger and heavier than the job demands, it stops feeling like an upgrade and starts feeling like a burden on your belt. Coming in at 4 is the Klein 2-piece magnetic tip hollow shaft nut driver set, a 1/4 inch and 5/16 inch pair with color-coded ends, red and yellow, to tell them apart at a glance. The hollow shaft design is the main draw, letting you run a nut all the way down a long bolt that would otherwise stop you in your tracks. The rare earth magnetic tips are strong and keep fasteners firmly seated, but those magnets are also the Achilles heel. Strong magnetism doesn't discriminate. It pulls in every metal filing, shaving, and fragment floating around your tool bag or job site. Over time, that junk accumulates inside the hollow shaft and physically prevents nuts from seating all the way in. What started as a productivity tool starts causing the exact problem it was supposed to prevent. 5th on the list is the Klein 7-in-1 impact-rated multi-nut driver, and it's a concept that should work a lot better than it does. 6 hex sizes ranging from 1/4 inch all the way up to 9/16 inch, plus a 1/4 inch bit holder, all impact-rated, all color-coded, all held in place by rare earth magnets with a quick connect cushion grip. Sounds great. The reality is that the quick connect mechanism that's supposed to make size swaps fast can be stubbornly stiff, especially when your hands are greasy or you've been working hard. Wrestling a socket free defeats the whole point of buying a multi-tool. When the core selling feature becomes something you dread using, the buyer's remorse sets in fast. Rated at 1,000 volts, meeting ASTM and IEC standards for insulated tools, it offers 2 Phillips, 2 slotted, 2 square, and 2 nut driver sizes, all on interchangeable insulated blades with a slim profile. Safety plus versatility in one package. That's the pitch. The problem shows up the moment you apply real torque. The interchangeable, slim profile blades are inherently more fragile than a solid shank driver. Reports of blades bending or snapping under load aren't rare. The collar mechanism holding everything together also tends to feel a little wobbly, often requiring a steadying hand on the shaft. For high-stakes electrical work where you need full confidence in every turn, dedicated, solid, insulated drivers will serve you better. At number 10, we have the Klein 4-in-1 electronic precision screwdriver. 4 bits, number 0 and 00 Phillips, 1/8 inch and 3/32 inch slotted, with a chrome-plated barrel, heat-treated bits, and a swivel cap for fine control. For delicate electronics, the concept is solid. The execution has one glaring flaw. The bits are tiny and double-ended, meaning you flip them to switch sizes. Drop one of those microscopic bits on a carpeted floor or a cluttered workbench, and it's simply gone, permanently. The tool becomes a single-bit driver the moment that happens. And because it's a precision instrument, it has no business being used with significant torque anyway, meaning any screw that fights back is going to have you reaching for something else. Number 11 is the Klein Necked Impact Socket Set, model 65400, a 15-piece kit with a pass-through design, 11 impact-rated sockets, a 3/8 inch adapter, and a steel handle. The portability angle is appealing. The issues? The case, while sturdy, is chunky and awkward to dig through quickly. More critically, the set is SAE only, and a lot of professionals, particularly anyone working on European or Asian equipment, will find themselves needing metric sizes constantly. That means carrying a second set, which defeats the consolidation argument entirely, and the adapter adds length to your impact driver setup, which becomes a problem the moment clearance gets tight. A compact kit that forces you to supplement it isn't really a compact kit. Number 12 is the Klein Slim Tip Insulated Screwdrivers. 4 pieces, 1,000 volt rated, ASTM F1505 and IEC 600900 compliant, and made in the USA. The slim tip gets into recessed screws and tight terminal blocks where a standard insulated driver won't fit, and the insulation runs flush to the tip to prevent accidental nicks. These are legitimately well-made tools, but their very strength is their limitation. That slim profile is delicate. Apply excessive force or work in a tight, abrasive space, and the insulation can be compromised. Once that safety rating is in question, the whole point of owning the tool is undermined. For routine heavy-duty tasks, you'll probably keep reaching for a standard driver, which means these end up living in a drawer for specific scenarios only. At 13 is the Klein Extended Reach Coax Crimper, model VDV211100. It crimps F, BNC, and RCA connectors on RG59, RG6, and RG6Q cables with 40 foot-pounds of pull force. The long, slim profile reaches into cramped boxes and behind panels and features an adjustable plunger and over-crimp protection for consistency. There's also a leverage hole in the handle for connector installation. Sounds purpose-built, and it is, which is exactly the problem. Adjusting the plunger between connector types is a tedious manual process, especially when you're jumping between cable types all day. The extended reach that helps in specific scenarios makes the tool bulky to store in a standard pouch, and that impressive pull force rating is calibrated for Klein's own connectors. Third-party connectors can produce inconsistent results. Very specific tool, limited flexibility. Number 14 is the Klein Hybrid Pliers, model J215-8CR. These strip 10 to 14 AWG solid and 12 to 16 AWG stranded wire, shear 632 and 832 screws, and crimp non-insulated connectors. The wide knurled head helps with wire twisting, the high-leverage design boosts cutting power, and journeyman dual-material handles keep it comfortable. The promise is a lighter tool belt without sacrificing capability. Where it falls short is ergonomics and muscle memory. The placement of stripping holes and the feel of the cutting action can demand a real adjustment period, and for some users, it never clicks. If the tool feels awkward in your hand, no matter how many times you use it, you wind up keeping your dedicated tools anyway, and this one just takes up space. Number 15 is the Klein Digital Angle Finder, model 935DAF. It reads to plus or minus 0.2 degrees, measures inside and outside angles, doubles as a protractor and ruler, features deeply etched markings, a bright white LED display, and a locking knob to hold measurements. The accuracy is genuine, but digital measuring tools like this one can drift over time and need recalibration, which adds a step to your workflow that an analog tool simply doesn't. The LED display, while readable indoors, can wash out in direct sunlight, limiting its usefulness on exterior work. For professionals who need it constantly, it earns its place. For occasional use, it can feel over-engineered for what you're actually doing. Number 16 is the Klein Digital Level, model 935GALG, which packs an impressive feature list: dual-axis bullseye, 0 to 90 and 0 to 180 degree measurement, programmable target angles with an audible alarm, an auto-rotating LCD that changes color when your target is reached, pre-programmed conduit bend pitches, IP42 dust and water resistance, a 2-meter drop rating, magnetic base, and V-grooves for pipework. This is a genuinely sophisticated piece of equipment. The problem is that for most everyday leveling jobs, a simple bubble level is faster, needs no batteries, and doesn't require calibration checks. The more features packed into a digital tool, the more ways it has to fail or frustrate. When a basic task requires navigating settings and monitoring battery life, some users find they just want the old-school tool back. At 17 is the Klein VDE screwdriver set, 5 pieces, all 1000-volt rated with slim tips, ergonomic anti-roll handles, clear blade indicators on the cabs, and a transparent carrying case. 3 slotted and 2 posi drive drivers round out the set. The safety credentials are legitimate. The regret, particularly for North American tradespeople, comes from those 2 posi drive drivers. Posi drive is standard in European electrical work, but shows up far less frequently in US applications. That's 2 of 5 drivers sitting unused most of the time. The slim tips are excellent for delicate access, but fragile under heavy-duty use. Push them too hard and you're compromising the tool. A set that's missing half its utility depending on where you work is a frustrating buy. Number 18 is the Super Rod Wire Spanner Plus telescopic pole, model SRS56036. Extending to 18 feet, it's designed for cable retrieval in suspended ceilings and hard-to-reach areas. It's lightweight, stores compactly, has a hook shape for navigating obstacles, an accessory hole at the tip, and a shoulder strap for solo operation. Great concept. In use, though, that 18 feet of extension comes with noticeable flex. At full length, precise control gets difficult, especially when you're trying to catch a specific cable. The hook can bend or deform if you're hauling anything heavier than a light cable bundle. And because its design is so specialized, it basically only does one job well: sealing cable retrieval. If that's your everyday task, it might be worth it. If not, it's a tool that earns its space only occasionally. Number 19 is the Klein Loose Cable Stapler, model VDV 700-205. It drives insulated staples with a forward action mechanism for stability, features adjustable force, and includes a staple guide for clean results. Quick, tidy cable management is the promise. The reality is that this tool is fussy. It performs best with Klein's own insulated staples. Anything off-brand or slightly inconsistent in dimension tends to jam, misfire, or seat incompletely. Those interruptions add up fast when you're working through a long run. And because you're driving insulated staples through a manual mechanism, the hand fatigue from extended use in awkward positions is real. Anyone who's spent a full day stapling cable knows how much that matters. A battery-powered option would solve both issues, and once you've wrestled with this one long enough, that upgrade starts looking very attractive. Finally, at 20, we have the Klein Tools impact sockets, specifically the half-inch drive multi-size versions that combine two sizes like 3/4 inch and 9/16 inch in both 6 and 12-point configurations, along with a 7/16 inch hex adapter for impact guns. Spring-loaded mechanisms, hollow shaft for long bolts, hands-free size adjustment. It's engineered around saving you time and cutting down on the number of tools you're carrying. The problem is the spring mechanism. Job site environments are hard on precision components. Dirt, dust, and metal grid find their way in, and when that spring-loaded system starts jamming, the multi-size feature turns from a time saver into a liability. Layer on top of that the fact that combining two sizes into one socket makes it heavier and longer than either single-size socket would be, and you've got a tool that adds weight to your impact gun while being less reliable than what it replaced. And that's the full list. 20 Klein tools that for the right person might be exactly what they need, but for plenty of others end up collecting dust or getting replaced. The takeaway here isn't that Klein is letting anyone down, it's that no brand, no matter how trusted, makes every tool a perfect fit for every user. Specialization, ergonomics, workflow habits, they all matter. Before you drop money on your next purchase, hopefully this breakdown saves you from a few regrets of your own. Drop a comment below if you've had similar experiences with any of these, or if there's a Klein tool you wish you'd never bought. Hit like if this was useful, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Thanks for watching our videos. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share with your friends if you found our video helpful. Subscribe to our channel to get more videos like this.